Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video. Physicist Albert Einstein is often seen as the ultimate symbol of intelligence. In fact, in our everyday conversations, when someone excels at something, we often say, he's like Einstein. But here's the question. Why do we always associate genius with Einstein specifically? Was he really the smartest person in the world? Or were there others even smarter? Have you ever wondered what we'd find if we could peek inside Einstein's brain? Well, as strange as that question sounds, it actually has an answer. Einstein had requested that his body be fully cremated after his death, but the pathologist, Thomas Harvey, who was examining his body, secretly stole Einstein's brain without anyone knowing. He believed Einstein's brain might hold the secret to his brilliance. He preserved it in a jar of formalin, took detailed photographs, and began conducting studies in secret. Decades later, Harvey revealed what he had done, and other scientists started studying Einstein's brain too. What they found was that Einstein's brain weighed about 1,230 grams, slightly below the average human brain weight. They also noticed that certain regions were thicker than usual, and the connection between the right and left hemispheres seemed unusually strong, possibly enhancing creativity and intelligence. But even with all that, his brain structure wasn't dramatically different. Nothing that could fully explain his genius. And statistically speaking, Einstein isn't the smartest person in the world. In fact, get ready for this, he's not even in the top 10, not in the top 100, not even in the top 1,000. Yes, thousands of people have had higher IQs than Albert Einstein. But before we continue, let me ask you a question. Do you think intelligence is something you're born with, or is it a skill that can be developed like any other? Can someone with a low IQ improve it over time? Let us know in the comments. And while you're there, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more. Now back to our topic. Scientists say that the average IQ is around 100. Below 70 is considered low, and above 130 is highly gifted. Einstein's estimated IQ, around 160. Sounds impressive, right? But wait till you hear this. Isaac Newton's IQ is estimated at 190. World chess champion Garry Kasparov, 194. Australian mathematician Terence Tao earned his bachelor's and master's degrees by age 16. His IQ, 230. And American mathematician William James Sidis is believed to have had an IQ of 250. He was fluent in several languages, including Latin, French, German, and Turkish, by age 8. So when we compare their IQs to Einstein's, he doesn't come close. Yet still, it's Einstein's name that stands out as the symbol of genius. Why? Let's break it down. IQ, or intelligence quotient, surprisingly isn't a definitive way to measure intelligence. Standard IQ tests, like the Stanford-Binet or Wechsler scales, only assess specific aspects of mental ability. They focus heavily on attention, logic, and pattern recognition. But intelligence is much broader than that. And these IQ tests also rely heavily on memory, like the ability to remember numbers, complete sentences, and recognize word patterns. In most cases, speed plays a major role. If someone isn't quick enough to answer in time, their score ends up lower. That's exactly why IQ tests are incomplete. They're not enough to truly judge someone's intelligence. Sure, quick thinking is important, but it's just one part of the equation. It's like someone who studies hard but writes slowly. You can't say they didn't study just because they took longer. And let's not forget, there are many types of intelligence. Some people are highly gifted in verbal and linguistic intelligence, great with reading, writing, and expressing ideas. Others excel at mathematical and logical thinking, solving equations, puzzles, or understanding mechanical systems. Then there are those with strong visual spatial intelligence. They see the world through images, colors, and patterns in a unique way. All of these are valid and different types of intelligence that we shouldn't ignore. So what's the point of all this? The point is, Einstein stood out because he had a unique kind of intelligence. He had an extraordinary ability to analyze information, think boldly, and connect ideas in a way no one else at the time could. Einstein wasn't even the best at math. He admitted that himself. He often relied on help from his first wife, Mileva, and his friend Michel Besso to solve complex mathematical problems. But what he had were visions and scientific ideas that existed only in his mind, things no one else could see. He turned those visions into scientific theories and tested them. That was Einstein's true genius. Sure, someone like Terence Tao, with an IQ of 230, might be faster at solving equations, but Einstein may still surpass him in bold, imaginative thinking. One perfect example: black holes. Einstein's contemporaries used to say he combined science with philosophy because of the strange and abstract ideas he constantly explored. In 1915, he published the General Theory of Relativity, which changed how we understand gravity. He corrected Newton's laws, which had been accepted for over 2 centuries, and introduced the idea that space and time are woven into a single fabric. He backed this up with equations so precise they could even predict how planets move around the sun. At the time, people doubted him, but in 1919, British astronomers Frank Dyson and Arthur Eddington tested his equations during a solar eclipse and found that he was right. Later, Einstein predicted something even more bizarre: gravitational waves and black holes. At the time, no one understood what he was talking about. We didn't have the technology to detect such things. Radio astronomy was still primitive. But the amazing part? About 100 years later, Einstein's predictions came true. In 2016, the LIGO Observatory in the United States confirmed the detection of gravitational waves, just as Einstein predicted. Physicists Rainer Weiss and Barry Barish won the Nobel Prize for it. And in 2019, we finally saw the first real image of a black hole. And the image? It matched Einstein's predictions with astonishing accuracy. So why is Einstein so famous? Because time and time again, his theories keep proving true. Modern physics is built on his work, and many technologies we use today, like GPS systems, rely directly on equations from Einstein's relativity theory. And beyond the science, Einstein was built for fame. His wild hair, quirky clothes, iconic quotes, and charming personality all made him the beloved face of genius. That's why Albert Einstein remains the most famous scientist of all time, and why his name is forever linked with brilliance and creativity. And that's it for today's video. If you've got a question that's been bugging you, drop it in the comments and we might turn it into a future episode. Most of our videos now come directly from your suggestions. See you next time. Peace.